Hello everybody, this is Curtis from psnstores.com. Today we're taking a look at Hyperlight Drifter. This came out on PlayStation 4 this past week. I've actually played through and finished it, although I want to go back and try to find everything, because there's still a lot of other little things that you can find that are optional. So I haven't got all that stuff yet, and I want to do that because I feel like there are probably important things I haven't seen. Um, I did unlock a New Game Plus though, so that's cool. I'll probably check that out at some point. Just gonna go ahead and start a new game. And then I'm also just not gonna talk over the opening because it is something else. So yeah, I mean, even just watching it for a second time, that opening is is crazy. Just visually, and then also the sound design and the soundtrack in this game is really good. I'm I don't know how to describe it other than what you just heard. It's a lot of that kind of that kind of music, that kind of sound. It's just really effective. And I don't know, this world that you're in this game. It's very distinct. It So this is pretty reminiscent of Zelda. I think is probably the easiest comparison to make. Um, I don't think we have a map yet, so we'll play through this opening a little bit more. So I can use L1 to heal. So the HUD will just go away. I can hit triangle to kind of do a pulse with my little helper there. That'll show on the left. That shows how many heal charges I have. You can eventually upgrade that. And then there is my health. And then there's also a slot where you'll have another weapon. And then I can hit X to kind of dodge here. And then square is my attack. And I think for now, that's all I got. So yeah, like the kind of basics of this game is you've got, once we'll get through this opening and we'll be like kind of in the world itself, and there are 4 different directions you can go in: north, east, south, and west, and all of those are going to lead to these areas where we can find I don't know the exact terminology for them, but they are kind of pieces, chunks that we can find that will eventually lead to a boss fight, but then will also allow us to open the path to the final boss in the game. But in addition to that, there are also keys. There are just a number of other things that you can find within the world. There's like these kind of like monoliths that you can find. It seems like there was an original language in this game. It actually, there's a little bit of like Fez that I kind of felt, where in Fez there was like a language that you could decipher, and that would help you solve kind of riddles that weren't necessarily, it wasn't necessarily something that you would have to do to actually beat the game, but like it was there, and you would, it's kind of like you kind of feel like you need to see that stuff. And that's kind of the point where I'm at. There's kind of stuff here that I feel like I need to go back and I need to find all. I found like a handful of keys, just playing through. So I need to go back and be a little bit more thorough. Oh. There are these kind of golden tokens that you can find, and we'll see if we find any of them. Oh, there he is. But those are basically your currency, and so you'll find, when you find 4 of them, it will give you 1 whole token, and so you can use 2, or you can use like 3 of them to charge up your gun, or to charge up your sword, or to give you more slots for your healing items. And you do all of that in the town. So I don't think this opening is too long. So hopefully we'll get through this and play a little bit more. But the other, I mean, just other thing, like, again, like I said, visually in that opening, it's really strong. But just the art direction on just everywhere, anywhere you go, this game is incredible looking. I actually tweeted out a picture the other night. Or just look at this. Like, I love this. This is great. And you can just stand here as long as you want. Alright. I tweeted out a picture the other night of like an area that I was in. And it showed, I don't know, it just showed some stuff. You could tell some things had gone down. So this dash that I have, you can actually upgrade that too. And you can get it to where, if you time it right, you can like repeatedly dash. It's pretty interesting. I don't know. It's kind of tough because like the timing you've got to really nail down. You can't just like rapidly tap X. Here's this guy. Don't really know what his deal is. But that's the thing, and like I mentioned, it's one of the reasons why I feel like I still need to go, and I want to try to like 100% like get everything, see everything there is, because this is the type of game that when you finish it, it's not necessarily going to explain everything to you. There's no dialogue. I mean, there is like this like kind of language that you can that I would assume that you can decipher. Although I have not really done that yet, so I'm not sure. But it definitely seems that way. But you have stuff like that, and other than that, there is no other dialogue. So there's like you can kind of get a sense of what is going on. And then yeah, here's kind of what we're doing here. So to actually activate the final boss, you need to collect 4 of these triangles in each section of the map. There are 8 altogether, so you only need 4 of them, and then if you want to get 8, that unlocks other special areas that you can go to. But yeah, like just beating the game itself, just doing the bare minimum, you'll probably have like a little bit of an understanding of what's going on or what happened or who you are, or, anything like that. But it does seem like the whole picture is definitely not going to be given to you unless you go out and try to find everything and find any weird little secrets that are hidden in the game. So here is the main, here is the town, actually. It is the only town in the game. So if we go up, there's a shop to upgrade your sword, a shop to upgrade your dash. Down below there is a shop to upgrade your gun, and then also you can buy bombs. You can hold up to 2 bombs. And then over here we can upgrade the number of health items that we can carry on us. So at the beginning of the game you can go west, north, or east. So I guess we'll just go north. That's the way I went the first time. And then yeah, so here is our map. So we can kind of go around. As you're progressing through the world, you'll hit those points where you can warp to. Each section usually has one that's kind of in a pretty good area that you can warp to and easily access a number of different things. Shows the number of keys we currently have, which is 0 on the top right. I can zoom out if I want to. That's the whole map. Hit R2. This shows like the underground. So there's a lot of like underground like areas that you'll go through. Zelda is certainly the easiest comparison to make for a game like this. There are definitely similarities, especially in the way that the world is structured. There's not a lot of puzzle solving or like specific dungeons you'll go through. So that's a bit different, but there's definitely some similarities. And if we hit R1, here's kind of our character screen. And so that's going to show the different upgrades we get as we purchase them over time. So let's go ahead and just go, and we'll play a little bit longer. So there's a lot of definitely you have to be very aware of your surroundings and kind of willing to explore, because there's a lot of things that are like off the beaten path, or there are things that if you're not careful you'll just walk by and never see them. We'll see a little bit of that. There's also, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, there are things I haven't found, of course. I don't think that, I mean, there are things that as you progress, like you get the gun, and there's a number of different guns you can get throughout the game, and then you have the bombs that you can eventually purchase. But there aren't like a bunch of different abilities you're gonna acquire, so I don't think, and I could be wrong, there might be a few exceptions, but on the whole, most of the stuff, like different secrets or hidden things, most of that stuff you can find pretty early on. It's just a matter of knowing where it is or being very observant. This is a game that's also pretty difficult. It's you can die pretty quick. You only have, what is it, the 5 bars of health. Some bosses or enemies can hit you for multiple bars at once with just a single attack, so you gotta be pretty careful. That's why it's important to upgrade how many health charges that you can carry at once. Having 3 is pretty nice, but being able to have 5 is really helpful. So it's mostly bosses, and then there are certain times where you'll be kind of in an arena where there are multiple enemies, just a handful of different enemies flying around you that can be pretty tough. So here's one example. You notice the little character following you kind of pulses with a question mark. So if I hold triangle, that reveals these hidden platforms, and then I can find this. So this little character shows up, and then you see a language, some sort of writing. And again, I'm sure you can translate that in some way, but I have not been able to do so yet. But there's a number of those hidden in the world. So there's one more thing I want to find. And then we meet people like this, and this is like one of the more interesting things. I really like that they didn't have anyone just talk to you, especially when they have that kind of language on those kind of monoliths. Whenever you talk to people like this, and there's only a small handful of them, you see it in pictures. So in one instance, it's something like this. Well, it'll have like one picture for you, but then it's going to show, okay, there's the location of the boss. Or it might show you the location of other things in the world that you could find. But there are other people that when you talk to, it'll show you like a series of images, and it will tell this a little bit of a story, at least that pertains to their character. So it might show you something that happened to them in the past. Alright, so we got one little plip right there. We need 4 to get money. There's 2. So those are hidden throughout the world. As long as you're pretty mindful and always kind of looking and being thorough, you'll find a good majority of them. They're not stupid. I mean, some of them are pretty hard to find, but most of them are just, as long as you're being thorough. There are doors like this for the keys. This particular door, I have not gone inside. Again, I think I found like 5 in my own playthrough without looking at a guide or anything like that. Come on. Let's see what's over here. Oh yeah, so like some of these are dropped from enemies. I've had a decent chunk that I found that were just dropped. Oh, okay. We're not gonna go in here yet. So I don't know if there's like a set amount in the world. I would assume so, considering you purchase upgrades with it. All right. Very nice. The way I usually treated it is I would just go through an area, and by the time I'd finished the boss and gone back to town, I'd usually have like 5 or 6 gold tokens or whatever they're called to spend. Look at that. And just like the music to accompany it, that's the thing. It's very moody. It's very atmospheric. Like it's not just like, yeah, we're just gonna, here's a song, we're gonna play it. Like it's sometimes like it's very soft and quiet, and and they kind of escalated a bit at certain moments. It's great. I don't know how far it would be for us to find one of those triangle pieces. Perhaps we could maybe get to one in this video and then end there. But we'll see. There's also there are costumes you can find in the game, and I don't think they necessarily do anything or have any sort of impact on you. But if you want to like change your appearance a little bit. So here's one where it's going to tell a little bit of a story. So you got this guy kind of minding his own business. Someone shows up. Whole thing gets burned down. And now he's here. And there's that dog. A lot of mysteries in this game. Alright, so you'll have characters you run into that will highlight places on the map that you can find the triangle pieces. So that one specifically is in the area that I said we weren't going in. But we'll see if we can reach one. At least before this video is over. I don't think I found this in my other playthrough. We're definitely not going to hit a boss. There are, from what I've seen, at least, God, how many bosses were there? It was 5? There's not a ton. There's not like a ton of different bosses or anything, but they're all pretty good. They're hard. Uh-oh. Well, that's no good. Let's see if we can... There we go. I have not had that happen to me very often. I'll say that. But yeah, you know, you get through an area, and once you get at least... There are a certain number of these pieces. Here's one. You unlock the way to the boss. And then, you'll take them down. So some of these you'll just kind of find like this. So there's our first piece. And then there are others that you'll have to kind of go through the underground and fight through a series of enemies and stuff. And like I said, there are 8 total in each different area. 4 required. But there's 1. And so again, there's 7 others in this area that we'll find, some of which are very easy to find. Others not so much. again. Now we'll see if we can get to a good stopping point. You always feel like there's just something hidden right there. Oh, and the other thing, yeah, so we have this gun. You do get multiple guns throughout the playthrough. As you progress, you'll find different ones. And they all have certain number of ammo for each gun. You recharge it by just hitting things, whether it's enemies or you breaking things in the environment. That's how you recharge your ammo. Which I think is pretty interesting, especially like when you're fighting a boss. Because there's a bit of this, like, you use your gun on the boss, you know, like maybe to whittle down their health just a little bit, and then when you're low on ammo, you just gotta like break stuff, or you gotta hit them a few times to recharge again. It's kind of interesting. I think there's something in this room, but I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So there's a key. And again, those will open up different doors or different areas that you otherwise would not be able to get to. But that is Hyper Light Drifter. Again, it is out this week on PlayStation 4. I want to say it's supposed to come to Vita at some point. I don't think we know specifically when. And, you know, at this point, we're kind of used to the Vita releases being sometime after, if at all. So I believe that is the plan, that it's supposed to come to Vita, as far as I'm aware, unless something has changed recently. But it is out on PS4. It is $20 out this week. Again, playing through it itself and just not like going for all the different collectibles, you can finish it in probably 7 to 8 hours. That's kind of where my time fell. But there's a lot of other stuff I have not found, so there's still a lot to do in my original playthrough, and to see everything and unravel any mystery or whatever the heck's going on in this game. Oh yeah, you can hit down on the D-pad to just sit there. Which I always like when a game lets you do that. I don't know. But that is it. I finished it last night. I really like it a lot. It's tough, but not too challenging. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know, and just again, like visually and the soundtrack are the art in this game and the music is pretty good. It's pretty darn good. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. As always, we'll have a review of this game up probably sometime next week. But until next time, I will see you later. If you like this or any of our other YouTube videos, subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to support what we do in general, be sure to hop on over to patreon.com/psnstores. Your patronage helps keep our podcast 100% ad-free. Thanks for watching.